The diva is back, and she's got some really big news coming up at the end of this video, so stick around. Welcome to another episode of the Bushcraft Diva. Now today we're going to talk about knives, and I know I said we were going to make some feather sticks, but I'm still fighting the Rona and I'm really having kind of a hard day. So we're going to shorten things up, and I also had some questions about those sticks for the feather sticks, so I'm going to show you how to do that in this episode. But right now I want to go over the anatomy of the knife. It's important that you understand the basic components of the tool that you're using. This here is a sheath. It's a nice leather sheath that I got for this knife that I actually made myself. It's got a loop for a ferro rod. And this knife right here, I made at a bushcraft gathering, and my kids were able to each make one too, which was really cool. So it's really neat to have take ownership of something that you made yourself and go out and use it and love it. It's awesome. So I got to actually make it to my specs. I got to sand down the handle to fit my hand the way I wanted it to fit, because I have very small hands and most knives do not work for me. So we sanded down the handle. I put a nice walnut finish on it with some linseed oil to coat it and keep it smooth and protected. So we're going to start with the handle of your knife, and this right here is the butt of your knife. Yes, it is. It's called the butt. Next, we have the lanyard tube. I love having lanyard tubes on my knives because I can always stick a piece of cordage through there in case I have to hang it or strap it or whatever. Next, looking at our handle, we're going to turn to look at the top of it and see this little piece of metal here. That right there runs from the butt of the knife all the way to the tip. That is called your tang, and that gives your knife strength. This is called a full tang because it runs from the tip to the butt, which means you have a consistent single piece of steel, tip to butt, right there. Doesn't get any more sturdy than that. You'll have other knives with varying levels of tangs and varying widths. There's some that will start here and just whoop down into what's called like a stick tang. You don't have a lot of strength in that, and the problem with most of that is if you're going to be using this to be like hammering, hacking, or cutting something, you run the risk of slippage, you run the risk of breakage. So I tend to like all my knives with a full tang. Moving on, this right here is called the ricasso. This is the really thick piece of the blade that butts right up to the bevel where the handle ends on the knife. Beneath that is called the chol, and that is this thick piece of metal that meets the bevel right here. Now this is your blade, this is your bevel, and this is a part of the knife. The bevel is the part of the knife that actually gets ground down into that sharp edge that you're going to use. Always remember, keep your knives sharp. Sharp knives are safe knives. Dull knives are dangerous knives. Here we've got the belly of your knife, the tip, and we're going to turn this over. Look at the top again. This is your spine. Now the spine can be just as useful as the sharp edge of your knife. So spine runs full tang again, and that is your knife. Now we are going to head outside, and I'm going to show you how to use this knife to actually make the sticks that we're going to use for our feather sticks for next week. Let's go. Okay, so here we're going to grab a log that's about 3 inches in diameter and about 12 inches long, about a foot long. What we're going to do is place the bottom on the ground and the blade up on top of the stick. We're going to grab another log. See, we've got the blade right in the middle of that log. Going to grab another log and just start pounding. And it goes pretty quickly straight down the middle. Sometimes a little adjustment. Get that straight. And we keep going right down to the bottom. And it's split in half. Look at that. Nice and even. Beautiful center in that wood right there. And next we're going to cut it into fourths. And actually, I'm going to flip it over so the wider bottom is on the ground. We take that half of the log, put the blade in the middle, and start pounding again. Straight down. Make sure you've got a nice firm grip. And we just keep headed down. One important thing to keep in mind is you want a piece of wood that doesn't have notches in it. You want something nice and straight. Once you hit a knot, it's going to be very difficult to cut through to get that feather that we're looking for in the feather sticks tomorrow. Here we've got another stick. Put the blade on top. Put the fatter part of the log on the ground because it's easier that way. Now, holding the stick, you want to hold it like a bicycle handle. Get a good grip on it. Most of you are chefs or do some sort of cooking, and we usually hold our knives in the kitchen by the blade, so we've got more blade control, and we use kind of a levering motion to chop. You want to hold your bushcraft knife like a bicycle handle. Nice and sturdy, nice and strong. I'm going to take that second log and make 2 more sticks for our feather sticks. See how nice and quick that goes once you get going? And there you have it. That is what you want to bring back to our next episode of Bushcraft Diva. All right, so we're back inside, and today we talked about the anatomy of a knife, and then we went outside and I showed you how to, with 2 pieces of wood, make 4 sticks that we are going to use for our feather sticks in our next episode. I'll show you how to utilize those, what a useful tool they are, and we might even make a Christmas craft out of one of them because, to be quite honest with you, my house is already pretty much decorated for Christmas because I have had enough of 2020 and I am ushering its butt out of here as fast as I possibly can. Now, the big news that's coming up. Guess what? Bushcraft Diva is now live. That's right. You can go to bushcraftdiva.com, and there you're going to find my YouTube videos. You're going to find my Instagram feed. You're going to find every other social media outlet that I am on: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Parler, MeWe. You can sign up for email. That way you will be notified for every episode that comes out so you don't miss one. Newsletters, special announcements, contests. I'm going to be putting some instructional manuals up there, and I also have my email and my phone number up there in case for some reason you need to get a hold of me. So never miss out on another moment of Bushcraft Diva. I'm going to have a store up there soon too. I'm really excited about this, and I want to thank all of you for your prayers and your support over the last 2 weeks while I have been down with this virus. It really means a lot to me. I did not get an easy version of this virus. I got hit really hard. I wound up in the hospital. It was really bad and it was really scary. And I also want to thank you for your encouragement and your patience with me while I had all this time off. It really means the world to me. And without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So thank you so much for your encouragement, for your patience. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my YouTube page. Don't forget to hit those buttons and make sure you get notifications as new videos come up. And bring your knife and your sticks along with you for the next episode of Bushcraft Diva, where we're going to be making feather sticks and having a little more fun. In the meantime, be boss, be beautiful, be bushcraft, and have a great night.